GINA CARANO receives assistance from Elon Musk, files wrongful termination lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm over her The Mandalorian firing. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to the GNRO Minicast. I am your host, Anna Mickelson, aka Drak. I hope everybody's having an awesome day or night when you're listening to this. And today we are covering a very interesting turn of events that happened, I believe, right at the beginning of February that I've kind of wanted to get my hands on. Mainly because Disney doing great right now. Aren't they just doing so great? They totally haven't lost over, I don't know, 1 million Disney Plus subscribers. Their series are going through the toilet, and now they're getting sued. Oh wait, they were already getting sued, but now they're getting sued again. So this article is coming to us from banningintocomics.com with Spencer Bercouli as the author, and it is in regards to the GINA CARANO firing. If people don't remember way back when, or a couple of years ago, in season 2 of The Mandalorian, GINA CARANO played the character Cara Dune in The Mandalorian up until season 2. And it was actually a really cool character and looked like there was probably going to be additional roles for Cara Dune, as one of the advertised at the time series that was going to be coming out was going to be called Rangers of the New Republic, which we had then been teased was going to be following Cara Dune. And then out of nowhere, because, well, GINA CARANO is an individual and has opinions of her own, she was fired by Disney and thus was taken off The Mandalorian. The Rangers of the New Republic never happened. Cara Dune was basically killed off screen and they never mentioned her again. But that sparked quite a bit of controversy as Disney was already facing a huge backlash, and now they are facing an even bigger one with Elon Musk funding a lawsuit for GINA CARANO to sue Disney. So let's get into the details, shall we? GINA CARANO has officially announced that thanks to assistance provided by Elon Musk, she is now moving to sue both Disney and Lucasfilm over her abrupt and now infamous firing from The Mandalorian. The former Cara Dune actress first announced her intent to take the House of Mouse and its subsidiary studio to court, the full filing of which can be read in the article, thankfully, on February 6th via a lengthy post made to her official Twitter account. And here is the post. After 20 years of building a career from scratch, and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter terminating me from The Mandalorian. GINA CARANO is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. And all of these are referring to the fact that she put her pronouns as beep boop bop, as well as basically saying that what was actually happening was accurate, which was social media and the left were basically trying to get neighbors to turn on one another. Oh, but they're not okay with her saying it. But Pedro Pascal says something very similar, who plays the Mandalorian. They're totally okay with that. Recap the actress of the chain of events which led to her being completely excised from the Star Wars franchise. Nothing could be further from the truth, she then pushed back. The truth is, I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I liked because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time, which is not something you should do. My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right-wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example out of me, which is exactly true. That's exactly what was happening. And that's not me saying it. That's GINA CARANO saying it since her firing. Because if people don't know this, she now works for the Daily Wire. So at that, or not as a press contributor, but she's actually directed a film, so on and so forth. And she's been very open about what actually happened. Look with your own eyes at what I posted, as seen below, and ask for yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to Jewish people in the Holocaust? And this is in regards to a post that she put up. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Historically accurate. because history is edited. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. Gee, I wonder how that sounds familiar in this current day, age, and context. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? So that being said, I didn't ask yourself why they were calling me a racist. Was there any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. And yes, I have no problem agreeing with this. Absolutely not. She was making a very valid observation, and that ultimately pissed off way too many people, and they wanted her fired. That's what happened. You wanted her to basically be unalived, as the term goes on YouTube now. You wanted her to quietly go into the night. You wanted to make sure she couldn't earn any money for herself. She couldn't provide. She couldn't do anything other than take a gun and put it in her mouth. That's what you wanted. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making droid noises from Star Wars, she further invited. Beep Bop Boop was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate transgendered people. And she goes back to a Twitter post that she made. They're mad because I won't put pronouns in my bio to show my support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put 3 very controversial words in my bio. Beep, bop, boop, in the form of pronouns. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less abusive representation. Or stop with this bullshit. They really do. Raising one final question, Carano asserted, were my questions about masks, lockdowns, and forced vaccines okay to ask and push the subject into the light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss those topics at the time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely. In fact, other actresses and actors in the MCU, the Star Wars movies, or the Star Wars franchises, all of them were making it. Did they get fired? No, but GINA CARANO did. What the fuck? And it goes back to a tweet that she basically said, if they can arrest you for not wearing a mask and walking outside without permission, they can make up any reason to arrest you. How do these police officers live with implementing tyrannical rule over the people they have vowed to protect? They know it's wrong. And this is in regards to Australia, not even to the United States, where similar acts were happening. Throwing her former employees' love for identity politics back in their own faces, Carano continued, the Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Funniest thing. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination? An ostensible reference to the Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal and his own post-election behavior online. Yeah, why did he not suffer any penalties for that? Oh, could it have been because Trump was in office? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was because Trump was in office. But I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. Nor should they have to, nor should they basically have to be brown nosers to the writers, because the fucking writers have their own personal political opinions, and anybody who disagrees with them is therefore the enemy. That should not happen whatsoever, and that happens every day in the creative professions, not just in Hollywood. This happens in anime, this happens in video games, this happens in comics, this happens everywhere, and it should not happen. I have spoken to all of my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their right to free speech and do not have to think the same on every issue to be their friends and work with them, and I know they feel the same towards me. What she's basically saying is, Pedro Pascal can say whatever he wants and he can vote however he wants, because that doesn't have to dictate how our friendship works, which is something that is sorely missing from modern day society, by the way. We have so many people who are basically terminally online Puritans who are saying that if you do not agree with me in every single aspect of my life, you are an enemy. You are alt-right. You are the problem. You need to be taken out. And that is not how life works. And I like the fact that she is pointing out that even though all of this happened, Disney is the problem. Not the co-stars, not the co-workers. Disney was the problem here. The actress then revealed that her lawsuit was being made possible thanks to legal assistance provided by none other than Tesla founder Elon Musk. A couple of months ago, Elon Musk tweeted that if you had been fired from using the platform for exercising your right to free speech, he would like to offer these people legal representation. Quite the noble offer, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought anyone would take on my case against Lucasfilm/Disney. Still, I did respond back. I think I qualify, and thousands of people agreed, but I did not expect anything, nor should she have expected anything, because Elon could have easily just put that up, and he just could have been basically doing word of mouth. Like he was easily just praising, or he was basically saying one thing and doing another. And I actually will give massive props to Elon Musk because of the fact that he stepped in. Do I think it's going to go anywhere? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. To my surprise, a few months ago, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by Twitterman X, to look into my story and many others. Turns out, after sending them as much information as I could gather these past few months, my now lawyers and Twitterman X believe wholeheartedly in my case and are moving forward. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you to Elon Musk for giving me an opportunity to bring my case to light. And yes, thank you, Elon, for doing that. You definitely didn't have to. Bringing her thoughts to a close with a look to the future, Carano ultimately mused, "As for me, I would love to pick up where I left off and continue my journey of creating and participating in storytelling, which is my utmost passion and everything I worked so hard for. It has been difficult to move forward with the lies and labels stuck on me, backed and encouraged by the most powerful entertainment company in the world." And this is where I think a lot of people actually get the wrong estimation, but I can't remember how it's actually said in the legal documents, where it basically sounds like she just basically wants her job back. And no, what she basically wants to do is she wants to have this monkey off of her back, this unjust monkey off of her back. Which who wouldn't? At that point, like if you had basically been labeled a bigot and now you can't get jobs anywhere except for, places that are trying to fight against this, when maybe you don't necessarily agree with them or whatever, it seriously restricts where you're able to go and what you're able to do. And that's what's happened to GINA CARANO. She's not able to do anything that she wants to do. She's not able to continue to move forward as an actor or as an actress. She's not able to move forward as a writer or any of those other things because she has this on her back. And so I do agree with her wording on that, because frankly, I wouldn't want to work for Disney again if that had happened to me. I really wouldn't have. I'm grateful someone has come to my defense in such a powerful way and look forward to clearing my name. Thank you to all the people who have supported me and made your voices heard. I pray God blesses each and every one of you. Oh no, you said the G word. Well, it's okay. Following the announcement of her lawsuit, Musk himself would take to Twitter to invite any others who felt they qualified to please let us know if you would like to join the lawsuit against Disney. And I would love to be able to see some other people come out in voice of this. I'm not thinking of anybody off the top of my head, but if this becomes like a big class action lawsuit of a bunch of people who have been fired for similar reasoning, that would be a big deal, and it would not be good publicity for Disney if that was going to happen. Notably, a second and far more cheeky recap of the chain of events which has led to this legal action was provided by Carano and her legal team in the introduction to their lawsuit, which I believe is, it's in the official paperwork. If I'll go ahead and read it because I actually do like it. A short time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, defendants made it clear that only one orthodoxy in thought, speech, or action was acceptable in their empire, and those that those who dared to question or failed to fully comply would not be tolerated. And so it was with Carano. After 2 highly acclaimed seasons of The Mandalorian as Rebel Ranger Cara Dune, Cara was terminated from her role as swiftly as her character's peaceful home planet of Alderaan had been destroyed by the Death Star in an earlier Star Wars film. And all of this because she dared voice her own opinions on social media platforms and elsewhere, and stood up to the online bully mob who demanded her compliance with their extreme progressive ideology. And that's basically what they put in the introduction. My thoughts on this is I want to give major props to Elon Musk for doing this. I do wonder if it's, and the word doesn't escape me, lip service. I do worry if it's lip service, and whether or not the lawsuit will go to court or anything like that. My guess is that if Disney is wise, they will settle this. They will settle this out of court so they don't have to worry about it. This monkey's not on their back. They already have way too much to worry about. I don't know if that's how that's going to go, but I am hopeful that some kind of a positive resolution comes out in GINA CARANO's in GINA CARANO's favor. Elon, I know after this is also put up, if anybody else feels like that should be the case, please, give suggestions of who else might have lost their jobs because of incidents that happened on Twitter ban X. I will give the suggestion of Vic Mignogna, even though I know that his case has since been rejected in Texas. I think it would be a great idea for the same law firm that you hired with GINA to take a look at his case and see whether or not he would actually be able to have had a stronger chance going a different route or anything like that. I'm not knocking the people like Ty Beard, who did their best to be able to represent him and tackled a bunch of bullshit that ultimately happened in the rulings that came out. But I would definitely say, hey, Elon, if you're looking for other people to be able to show support towards that lives got destroyed, I'd point out Vic Mignogna. I do think that Vic was unjustly crucified in the social media space. He didn't make it any better by apologizing, but I would definitely go in that direction. But yeah, thank you to Elon Musk, and also thank you to GINA CARANO for basically standing up and saying how much bullshit this actually is, and that this is what people ought to start doing from here on in order to heavily dissuade people from doing accusations like this. False accusations or bullying or anything like that. All this cancel culture bullshit needs to stop. All it's doing is destroying lives. It's not making things better. It's not making things more equal. It's just destroying lives, pure and simple. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode of the GNRO Minicast. Thank you guys so much for continuing to listen and support the channel. I definitely appreciate it. If you have an opinion on this, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you like what I said, you can feel free to leave a like on the video, and also consider subscribing to the channel. It goes a long way to be able to help me with the YouTube algorithm and such. So I definitely appreciate that. And I will see you guys next time for the next GNRO Minicast. Until then, take care, my friends.